Hey, I'm Mark.
And this is Jeannie.
We're the co-founders of the Transformative Loving Institute. And we wanted to talk to you today about some of the ways you can look at relationship and conflict. And we've been looking a lot at the news lately, actually.
Yeah.
The hurricane that's going on and hitting Florida. My mom lives in Florida. And so there's been some concern around that, and also seeing the devastation that actually happened in the Bahamas.
Yeah. And, what happened is the hurricane hung out over the Grand Bahamas for like 24 hours and just wreaked havoc. Yeah. And we realized this week that the same thing can happen in our intimate relationships. So we wanted to actually take a few minutes to talk about how you can look at conflict in your relationship and actually give you a tool for identifying how activated are you, because it can help to really recognize this with your partner.
That's right, because the truth is we all get triggered to different levels.
Yeah.
And if it's my turn to go category 5 tonight, tomorrow it'll be yours, right? I mean, we're keeping it light, even though it's a heavy deal with actually what's gone on with the hurricane. But we find it really helpful to have metaphors so that you can not feel alone and kind of not feel so shamed about going through like intense conflict with your partner.
To lift the shame. Yeah. So we're just going to dive right in. So we've put kind of words that describe a spectrum of anger with these 5 different categories, right? So category 1 is annoyed. And this happens, this can happen every day. This can happen multiple times a day, that your partner does something and you get annoyed. But in the level 1 then of you're upset with your partner, you're actually able to keep kind of a level head and use your tools, right? You're able to use reflective listening skills, some of the tools that we actually talk about in the Love Map book, which is coming out in just a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. So you can still access your cerebral cortex, your frontal lobe is engaged, and you're not that triggered, you're just annoyed.
Right. And then the category 2 would be frustrated. Right?
Yeah.
And when we're frustrated like that, it's definitely a notch up from annoyed, because we're feeling it deeper. And it might be a little more difficult to use some of our tools. So we're saying when you're frustrated, you might just need to take a break.
Yeah, and most of the time you're probably going to notice that you're frustrated, and you'll be able to maybe take a couple of breaths and really get back online pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah, the length of time it takes to come down from frustrated is not that much. But again, having awareness of it. If you have awareness that you really are feeling frustrated, it's really good to do something about it, to start to use a tool like some breathing and get back into some co-regulating.
So level 3 then, you're angry. And it's going to, as we go up in these categories, it's going to be harder and harder to actually use your tools. Right. So it's just the way it works, right? The cool thing is, when you have this level 1 to 5 that you're working with, you can actually signal to your partner. You can be like, look, I'm category 3 right now, so I might need to take a break. And that's when you're probably going to want to start taking a break, so that you can get some perspective, come back to a place of calm, and get some perspective. Now, I've done some training with Dr. Sue Johnson, who basically says, during conflict, all your tools go out the window, you can't use your tools. Well, it's not quite that black or white, right? It's on a continuum. So levels 1 and 2, you probably can use your tools. Level 3, you're going to need to do a little bit more work to get back to the place where you can then come and do the repair work with your partner.
Right. So the tools you'd be using are more the self-soothing tools rather than the communication tools, where you really want to work things out like at level 1 or level 2. At this point, you're doing more of the self-soothing tools.
Yeah, so that you can de-escalate your storm, your inner storm, back down to a category 2 or 1.
Now we're going to move into category 4 and 5. Category 4 we're calling enraged.
That's angry. That's really angry.
Pissed, and you fly into a rage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so definitely these are the times when you're going to be using a self-soothing tool.
Yeah.
And, the partner, you're going to really start to rely more on your partner to hold the space for you, because you're not going to be able to, you're going to need a big break. And so you're going to need the partner to allow you to have that break.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's about communicating just, I'm out, I'm enraged, I'm out of here. And maybe that's all you got.
Yeah. And so if your partner, you and your partner are likely going to be at different categories, right?
Right.
Your partner might be at a level 1 and you might be all the way up to enraged at a level 4. And so it happens, right?
It does happen.
So if your partner is at a level 1 and they're really not triggered, they might be able to say, I totally get that you need a break. Can we just agree on a time to come back together? Because these are the tools. When we get to categories 4 and 5, the tools are taking a break, agreeing when to come back together, and then the last thing is going to be repair. So oftentimes in categories 4 and 5, maybe you've said some things that have been hurtful, and you actually need to do some repair work, which we also talk about in the book.
Right. And really, when talking about 5, right? That's explosive.
Explosive.
That's going to be the explosive when, all the stops are gone.
Doors are slammed.
And you're slamming doors.
I hate you.
And that's right. When you hate the one you love.
That's a chapter in the book.
And you're having thoughts about, oh my God, I've just ruined the marriage.
Yeah.
And I got to get a hotel room.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm in so much trouble, right?
Explosive is really a great description. It is a category 5. The winds are flying at 130 miles an hour, and you have to take a break at that point. There's no way for you to stay in your rational mind.
Right, because you can see your partner when they're exploding, that they're in their amygdala. They're in their fight or flight. And so there's no access to the kind of processing to communicate anything other than just those basic needs of safety.
Yeah. So we've given you an overview now of 5 different stages and a few tools that you can use, from actually using reflective listening to calling a timeout and doing your repair work. And I want to actually say that we are 13 days away from book launch.
Yeah.
And a lot of these tools that we're introducing to you are actually in this book in an easy to access conversational format. So we're getting very close to book launch, and this is a super resource for couples. So
thanks for watching this video and learning a little bit about the winds and storms of conflict and how there really is a tool for each one.
High five. Bye.